right, welcome to the Japanese Friendship Garden. Thank you for thinking about having your special day with us. Right now we're at the front entry of the garden. This is where your guests will enter when they arrive for either your ceremony or ceremony and reception. The garden does have its own parking lot, which is directly outside of the main front gate here. We are open to the public until 4 p.m. But as our general admission visitors start leaving, this parking lot is totally available for you and your guests' use. So as you enter, there'll always be a garden staff attendant here at the front gate just to greet people, make sure only the wedding guests are those entering the garden and other just general population aren't coming in during your rental. They'll kind of direct people to head this way. As you head this way, the very first building here to our right, this is our gift shop. It will be closed whenever there is a private rental of the garden. But the next building that the guests will see is our restroom facility. And normally during the daytime there is not any signage out, but for private rentals we do put out some restroom signs, and that way the guests know this is the restroom building when they enter, and they don't make their way all the way back to where the ceremony is held and have to walk all the way back to the front. So as people enter, really immediate great view is our big Kasuga lantern that you'll see coming up here. This is kind of like a lookout over the whole garden. People love to come and take pictures right in front of the lantern. So usually I don't like to block the lantern, but it is a great immediate focal point to do something like a sign-in book table or a gift table. So usually I'll do those tables kind of off to the sides here. So it is immediately available for the guests, but we're not blocking our beautiful lantern here. And so the garden does have several options available. We can do either just your ceremony, so ceremony only, or we can do the ceremony and the reception. So if you're doing just your ceremony, you have 3 options for locations depending on the size of your group. So we'll go ahead and head this way, and we'll talk about our grassland area. Okay, so this is our first location. It is closest to the very front of the garden. We call this location our grassland. It is because it's our big open grass space. It's the only large open grass space in the whole garden. So if you have more than 120 guests for your ceremony, then it has to be here on the grass area. The garden does have 150 white padded resin chairs, but if you have a larger group than 150, you are definitely free to rent in additional chairs, and this space can accommodate up to 250 for a ceremony only option here at this location. It has a really beautiful pond side look, and again looks over towards the lantern, as well as our beautiful bridge areas. And something a lot of our brides or grooms like to do is when they choose this location for their ceremony, is they'll come walking into the ceremony across the bridge, and it makes for a really beautiful kind of unique entry into the wedding ceremony. And then we'll go over to our pavilion location, and this is going to be what we call the waterfall location or the pavilion location. So this is our pavilion or waterfall location. As you can see, it's directly across from our 12-foot waterfall. There's also a cute little seaside lantern here. This is just really a beautiful location to have your ceremony. When you have a ceremony and the reception at the garden, the ceremony has to take place here because the reception has to be set up on the large open grassland space. So here I can fit, it looks a little tight, but I can fit up to 120 chairs for the ceremony. Over 120 is just pushing it a little much. This would be where you can imagine the aisle would be, and bride and groom would be standing where I'm going to stand right now. Waterfalls directly behind you. It's a really beautiful backdrop for your ceremony. Now we do have one other location. If you have a really small guest size for your wedding ceremony, or if you're doing the elopement option, we have an area that's even closer to the waterfall that we call Shachi, and we can do a quick view of that. Now on our way to the Shachi location, you will see our tea house coming up here on the right. When you have the ceremony and the reception, the tea house is available as a bridal suite before the ceremony. You can gain access to the tea house as early as 2 p.m. To start getting ready, as well as other vendors coming in for decorating of the reception site also can gain access as early as 2 p.m. It's a beautiful traditional tea house. There is no food or drink allowed, only water, but it's just a really beautiful, nice, quiet place for you to be before you go into your ceremony. So this is the location that we call Shachi. It is a safe location that's directly across from the waterfall again. I can accommodate up to 45-50 people here maximum. It really looks better with much smaller groups. I would say like anywhere from 20 to 25. The benches that you see are movable, so we can just move those benches out of the way and then set the chairs up. And then bride and groom would stand directly with the waterfall right behind them. And this view of the garden looking this way is a really beautiful view of the garden. Again, you get to see the bridges and the lantern and the waterfall from this location, which I think is very pretty. So of course, another big reason people choose the garden for their event, for their wedding, is it's just absolutely beautiful. It's kind of a photographer's dream come true. The pictures that you'll take in the garden are so varied. There's so many different looks that you can get within the garden. It's just a beautiful place to do your pictures immediately following your ceremony. We'll go ahead and continue walking just through our mountainside area back to the front, just so you can see a little bit more of some other areas to take some great pictures. thank you again for thinking about having your event, your special day with us here at the garden. And let me know if there are any other questions or if you have specific questions about any of the areas. Thanks and have a great day.